Dennis Rodman, the greatest rebounder the NBA has ever seen. Maybe the most entertaining player also. The story of Dennis is a remarkable one that even Rodman can't believe. Basketball wasn't even on the radar for Rodman. He had no high school basketball experience. He was kicked out of his house and flunked out of college. Then all of a sudden, a series of fortunate events lined up perfectly in Dennis's life. A miracle maybe, as it just seemed impossible. This is the life story of Dennis Rodman and his journey to the NBA. On May 31st, 1961, Dennis Keith Rodman was born in Trenton, New Jersey. His mother, Shirley Rodman, would be a single mother after his father, Philander, an Air Force enlistee, deserted the family, leaving his mother, Rodman, and two sisters without a husband or father. It was believed that Philander Rodman fathered 25 kids with 16 different women. Rodman believed he is now the oldest of 47 children. The family would grow up in Dallas, Texas, where Rodman was attached to his mother's hip. She paid more attention to his two sisters, Deborah and Kim, as they were more talented and gifted in basketball. The girls would play high school basketball, winning 3 state championships and eventually both playing college basketball at Louisiana Tech. Rodman wasn't the happiest child and was definitely the complete opposite of the person you see in the media in the 90s and early 2000s. He was a quiet boy that kept to himself. At a young age, he was given the nickname the Worm, as he would wiggle while playing pinball. His mother would keep a strict regimen with the kids, all while working multiple jobs to put food on the table. While his sisters would grow closer to the family, Rodman would slowly grow apart. Growing up, Dennis's first love was actually football. He was a huge fan of the Dallas Cowboys. Not very athletic or gifted at sports, he enjoyed football more than basketball. He would try out for the football team but would not make it. He then took a chance and tried out for his varsity basketball team but would also not make it due to his size of 5 feet 6 inches as a freshman and an inability to even make a layup. After finishing high school, Rodman accepted who he was, an unathletic individual who wasn't very good at sports. Rodman believed he was going to work 9-to-5 jobs for the rest of his life, and so he did. He attained the job as an overnight airport janitor at the Dallas-Fort Worth Airport. Here, Dennis would face the justice system for the first time. On the job, he would make the mistake of accepting a dare to steal a bunch of watches from a store through a space in the gate door with his broomstick handle. Dennis would be caught, and after being arrested and in prison for one night, he was let go the following day after telling police where he had put the watches. His mother would have enough of Rodman, and at 19 years old, he was given an ultimatum to enlist in the army, go to college, or get another job. For several weeks, Rodman did nothing and didn't respond to his mother's threats, so she kicked him out of the house. Rodman would live at his friend's house couch surfing. Rodman would frequent the local rec center where he would go to pass time working out, playing pinball, and eventually he would rediscover basketball. 20 years old, would have a huge growth spurt and grow a foot taller from 5 feet 9 inches to 6 feet 7 inches tall within a year. Basketball was basically forced on Rodman to play as he was tall in height and would visit the rec center to work out and have fun. He didn't really care to play the sport. Even Dennis would not realize he was good as other players would tell him, as he was still trying to fit in his own body. Rodman would have a little luck on his side. A family friend would notify the head coach of Cook County College in Gainesville, Texas, where he would visit Rodman playing basketball at the rec center, and from there he was offered a scholarship. Rodman never played basketball in high school and would again question his capabilities on the team, but that changed quickly. In one semester that he played for Cook County, he averaged 17.5 points and 13.3 rebounds a game. Unfortunately, he did not finish the season due to poor grades and failing academics. During college, Rodman would help coach a basketball camp for young basketball players. Dennis would meet a boy named Brian Rich, who was very quiet and shy, as Brian was suffering from his own emotional trauma. Dennis Rodman would come to find out about Brian's story. The story goes, him and his friends were out in the backyard shooting targets with a gun, which was normal in the countryside. When Brian was reloading his shotgun, it discharged, hitting and killing his best friend. Rodman talked with Brian and developed a friendship immediately. He invited Dennis to his house for dinner one day, and his parents thought their son was bringing someone home that was his own age. In comes through the door a 6'8" African-American Dennis Rodman, in a neighborhood in which you don't usually see a whole lot of colored people in general. The Rich family was taken back, but it wasn't long before they realized that their son was finally back to his old self before the accident. Rodman hit it off with the family and was surprised when they offered him a place to stay, but it would come at a cost. The neighbors in the area would openly complain and throw the N-word around due to Rodman now staying there. The Rich family treated Dennis like one of their own. Pat Rich had rules that were the same for Dennis as they were for the kids. He had a curfew, homework needed to be done, and attend church on Sundays. Dennis was so grateful at the time as he felt loved and accepted. Rodman would later thank the Rich family and how grateful he was of them in his Hall of Fame speech. Rodman would transfer from Cook County to Southeastern Oklahoma State University, which was an NAIA school. There he was a 3-time All-American and led NAIA in rebounding twice. in 1985 and 1986. As a junior, he would average almost 27 points and 16 rebounds a game. As a senior, he would average 24.5 points and almost 18 rebounds a game, leading Southeastern to a tournament appearance both years. Even though he played at an NAIA school, Rodman would be invited to an ID camp called Portsmouth Invitational, a pre-draft camp for potential future NBA stars. Rodman would win Most Valuable Player honors and caught the attention of the Detroit Pistons. Then in the 1986 NBA draft, Rodman would be picked 27th overall by the Pistons, and the rest is history.